I'm gonna put on my PJs. Ah! We are refreshing right now the YouTube. Yeah. Done. Hey. Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. In this live stream, we are gonna check what Sam Vaknin has to say about gang stalking. I heard that Sam Vaknin is a targeted individual. We're gonna see what is his perspective, what are his opinions, and we're going to discuss the topic of gang stalking. While listening to some Vaknin, we're gonna see what he's talking about, and we're gonna try to see gang stalking from his eyes. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. I hope you enjoy it.
Victimhood gang stalking is a relatively new phenomenon, which could be dated back safely to the rise of social justice movements such as Me Too. In victimhood gang stalking, people who self-identify as victims, people whose victimhood constitutes their entire identity, these people group together, collude and collaborate against someone who is ostensibly the perpetrator, the evil one. It's a morality play of all good, angelic people versus all bad, evil doers.
That's interesting.
Victimhood gang stalking is a private case of a much larger phenomenon known as gang stalking, and it is a topic.
Notice that he's naming it victimhood gang stalking, which I find incredibly interesting.
Of today's video presentation to you, my dear colleagues.
Daryl.
We're his colleagues.
So, honorable colleagues, I am honored to serve as the keynote speaker in the 6th Global Conference on Addiction Medicine, Behavioral Health, and Psychiatry. Allow me to present myself. I'm a professor of clinical psychology in CIAPS, Commonwealth Institute for Advanced Professional Studies, in Cambridge and Birmingham, United Kingdom, Ontario, Canada, and Lagos, Nigeria. I'm also a visiting professor of psychology in Southeast European University, and formerly a visiting professor for 5 years in Southern Federal University in Rostov-on-Don, Russia.
It feels so amazing to have the opinion on gang stalking from someone that is incredibly qualified in the topic. You know, it is so easy to get lost in all the misinformation that claims to be information. You know, it's insane.
This out of the way, let us discuss the topic of today's video presentation. I want to deal with a much mischaracterized and neglected psychosocial phenomenon known as gang stalking. Gang stalking is described in the literature overwhelmingly as a kind of delusional disorder. It is sometimes conflated, as I said, with social justice activism, with victimhood and woke movements such as Me Too, when gangs of activists and alleged victims, alleged self-imputed victims, target individuals cast as evil perpetrators.
That's interesting.
Alternatively, gang stalking has been attributed to deep state structures and featured in other equally inane conspiracy theories such as QAnon. And this expansive redefinition of gang stalking has given it has.
What is QAnon? I have no idea what that is. Come on. I don't know what that is. Okay, so let's see. QAnon is a multifaceted phenomenon that emerged online in 2017. Primarily on forums like 4chan, it initially centered around posts, excuse me, my MaxiPad, centered around posts from anonymous individuals known as Q, who claimed to be a high-level government insider with Q clearance, revealing secrets of a hidden conflict between sources. So this is something that gang stalkers are always doing. Gang stalkers themselves are always claiming to know everything about gang stalking. So watch. Let me show you. Look, so there's gonna be people. I'm gonna show you my YouTube channel. I know it's like, oh my god, he's so full of himself. He's showing me his YouTube channel, but no, this has nothing to do with me. This has something to do with the comments of people. Look. So I had never heard before QAnon, but let me show you. So on my most recent video, let me show you, where's the comments? Where's the comments? How can I show you the comments? Oh, here we go. So, listen, check this out. Is it this one? Which one did I literally just got a comment, so it's not this one. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So watch. On the comments, oh, where is it? No. Someone literally said, it's not this one. Then it was this one. It was this one. Well, I'll just share the one that I just made. God damn it. So,
I'm not expecting.
so someone literally, I was telling someone that directed energy weapons are actually caused by it's the mind of the target that has to be manipulated to make them believe that directed energy weapons are real. Look. So, and this is the comment that I got. Look how insane this is. So, someone said, so notice that these people talk like if they have clearance of the entire government, because these people speak with such a conviction as if they had a book, or if they were like in the control panel of the entire universe, and they were talking because they were in front of it. These people are speaking as if they knew the secrets of the entire universe. Look, listen. No such thing as V2K. Laugh out loud, question mark. You are either super delusional or not really being gang stalked and gaslighting people. So, because I'm telling you that victims of gang stalking are hearing voices because of the actual harassment and not because of directed energy weapons nor V2K technology, I am delusional. How irrational does that sound? And look, so when you encounter a comment of a person that is trying to convince you of something, they're going to speak like if they're trying to sell it to you. They're going to speak with the utmost conviction. So look what this person says. It says, this person is literally saying this like if they knew for a fact. Listen. They can 100% know what you're thinking. How do you know? Who told you? And can feed that info out to the social justice warriors following you. What? They can and will use AI to make easier adjustment sequences of street theater to manipulate your environment. The absurdity of this is so insane. And someone is calling me delusional when their delusions are like out of the freaking planet. And they're saying you're either don't get attacked as hard as other TIs or you're literally prepping people. It's like these people are calling me delusional when they don't even hear what they are saying themselves. So look, they're talking like if they know. They're talking like if they are in the center of the entire universe. They're talking like if this is a fact. And that is the problem, dude. Like, these people are talking like if they know for certain that there is AI being used to manipulate the people around you. Like, how absurd that sounds. There is an actual intent at making targets believe that directed energy weapons are being used on them. Just know that it kind of feels like that, but it's your mind. It is your mind. I was targeted for 7 years. I believe that directed energy weapons were real. I felt like there was no way out. Once I explored my mind so much, I began to realize, oh shoot, the voices are actually in my head. The sensations are actually produced by my mind. Then, boom, I snapped out of it like that. So please understand, there is an active push of the directed energy weapon narrative. There are a bunch of gang stalkers trying to convince everyone that directed energy weapons are real. Just understand that.
Given it a bad name, a bad rep, and this reputation caused.
It is your mind. Don't try to push lies on people. You're spreading misinformation, 5-point palm exploding heart technique. See what I'm telling you? People are trying to tell you that it's not your mind. It's like they're calling me crazy for telling you that the voices you hear are your own mind. I lived gang stalking for 7 years. I heard the voices and I believed that directed energy weapons are real. Once I realized that they weren't, I snapped out of it. That's the thing, is that if you believe that directed energy weapons are real, you are not gonna step out of it. If directed energy weapons were real, someone would have to turn on the little machine, point it at you for a week, and you would be dead. No one would need to harass you. Targets of gang stalking do not really hear voices from one day to the next. Out of the blue, not out of the blue, they get louder with time.
Academics to shy away from it, to not study it. And so people who claim to be gang stalked are automatically cast as delusional, paranoid, psychotic, grandiose, or narcissistic.
And I am labeled like that. Notice that I'm just because I'm saying that the government isn't harassing people, I'm already being called delusional. I'm already being called a liar. No, it's not your mind. And I'm already being called paranoid when you can see that I'm not paranoid. I'm just explaining to you all the psychological truth about gang stalking.
Worse, there has been no in-depth study of the veracity of these claims, the claims of the victims of gang stalking, because its very existence has been widely and invariably discredited and poo-pooed. However, these are the facts. Occasionally, gang stalking is real.
Yeah.
It does occur. I will describe in this video presentation 10 environments, 10 settings, 10 sets of circumstances that give rise to the orchestrated activity colloquially known as gang stalking. 10 types of gang stalking. Discrediting all gang stalking claims as delusional or paranoid is wrong. Indeed, in most cases, people who claim that they are being gang stalked are or suffer from mental health issues. But on some occasions, it is still a real phenomenon, denied by a clueless, and I would even say arrogant, academic establishment. Targeted individuals do exist.
I appreciate the fact that he's actually taken the time to say that his own industry can be arrogant at times.
One of them. The dynamics of gang stalking, when it does occur, this collusion and collaboration between multiple individuals around a shared target, this resembles what we call shared psychosis. There is an inducer, someone who generates the dynamic, and then there are people who join the dynamic on the fly, and these are known as secondary induced participants. So it is a form of shared psychosis, involving, in some cases, a fantasy. The participants in gang stalking usually cast themselves in terms of good versus evil. It's a morality play. They deploy a splitting defense. The participants in the gang, the members of the mob, the extensions of the group, these people describe themselves as all good, while the victim, the target of the gang stalking, is described as all bad, is demonized. That
You
is
know-
a classical.
To be honest, gang stalkers know that what they're doing is bad. Like, that's the truth, because targets that are harassed, typically are living like their best life. So gang stalkers are like narcissists. They know they are destroying people. They know they are hurting people. They just do. No one is gonna try to gaslight anyone with a good intention. Like, no one is. There is absolutely nothing good. Like, people do not see targets as evil. They see them as targets.
Infantile primitive defense mechanism known as splitting. At the same time, the group empowers its members, and there is a sense of grandiosity, narcissistic elation. The empowerment is the outcome of the ability to inflict distress and pain and hurt on the victim or the target of the group. This ability translates into a power dynamic, and the whole thing devolves into a power play. And this capacity to exercise power enhances the sense of omnipotence. There are also grandiose reactions and narcissistic elation, which have to do with the arcane language of the group, the secret knowledge within the group, including the knowledge of anticipated actions that the group is initiating internally and that are to be inflicted on the victim or the target by surprise. Taking the victim by surprise is a very empowering experience.
Absolutely.
It's intoxicating. There is a power inebriation within the group.
I know this is true. I have seen it. And I remember that once I was actually... So there was several times where I was at the gym in Chula Vista, TG the gym, and I'm not exaggerating, like at least 30 people were doing the hand signal and they were doing the gang stalking grin. And I could almost see it in their eyes, and I remember that I didn't run and I didn't do anything. I pretended like nothing was happening when all that was happening. Like, inside I wanted to run. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, I knew it's like, if I run outside yelling or being afraid, I'm gonna just appear like a lunatic. So I didn't. And literally I had a bunch of people look at me being really upset. And they were like someone actually went like that because I didn't run away. And the one who went like that was my client. I thought he was my friend. which is why I was training him. But he ended up being part of the group of gang stalkers. He is one of the people, Bijan, and he was one of the people that when I was sober, this is one of the reasons that I actually stopped personal training, because there was a while that I was sober, and I remember that this guy was like, "Oh, look at his butt! Oh, look at his hot bulge! Look at his butt! Don't you want to do him?" Like, he was trying to make me think spicy, so that I would go and be a HOR, an HOR, in order for me to go and use illicit substances and engage more with gang stalkers. Like, I had people actually manipulate my environment in order to make me engage with the gang stalkers more. It was insane, and I am sure that there is some type of power because you have a bunch of group deciding the fate of a person. That is the craziest thing, is that a bunch of people do their best to manipulate the environment um, to actually dictate a single individual what to do. It's crazy. It's insane. It's super insane. But I can see the intoxication on their face.
I will describe now 10 situations where gang stalking is actually very common. People with narcissistic personality disorder, and to some extent people with borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, tend to use emissaries. They're known colloquially as flying monkeys. They tend to recruit
Yep.
and convert people to the cause.
My clients
And
got
then
converted.
they send out these people as cannon fodder or kind of soldiers. And the flying monkey's role is to communicate.
To be honest, I feel like these people are already, I already know. Like, they already know even before they are being sent. Because why does all of these people already know how to gang stalk someone? They already know how to manipulate. It's insane.
With the target and the victim, and to cause the target or the victim distress, and to obtain favorable outcomes by initiating.
Like, if someone would come to me and would be like, try to make this person paranoid, it's like, I wouldn't know freaking how to make, like, how do you make someone paranoid? How do you make someone freak out? Like, I don't know, I've never tried that. But these people already knew, like, if it was second nature, which is the craziest thing.
This kind of contact or communication. Many flying monkeys are unwitting collaborators, but some of them are fully aware of what they're doing. They are, for example, self-aggrandizing covert narcissists who seek narcissistic supply by creating alliances and coalitions with the group.
Yeah.
They could be psychopaths who are out to secure some goal. They could be simply people who enjoy drama and thrill. They're thrill seekers.
That's exactly what it is.
Risk takers. A bit psychopathic. There are many free riders within a typical situation of gang stalking. These are people who are more or less lurking or observing the action as a form of entertainment. So flying monkeys and unwitting collaborators create conspiracies, but not in the conspiracy theory sense. Conspiracies, when I say conspiracies, I mean structural, goal-oriented alignments. And so they
You're
create
focusing on them too
conspiracies,
much.
and these conspiracies are rigid.
Are you ready to stop guessing and to start growing on YouTube?
So, Hong Cha International saying, you're focusing on them too much, look up the gray method. So look, I already moved on. Right now, we are simply demystifying gang stalking. I'm not really focused on gang stalkers. Like, I literally structure my life in a way that takes their access away to me. But I understand what you mean, though. Like, they're just there, you know. But I'm focusing on I'm not focusing on them. I'm focusing on exposing gang stalking right now. I used to focus on them. I used to because I had them all around me. But now the job is to explain gang stalking, do as much content about gang stalking as possible, and that's what we're doing. The focus right now is understanding gang stalking. But yeah, thank you for your input, International.
Diminishing, hurting, disabling, attacking, distressing the target or the victim. This is one form of gang stalking. Another form of gang stalking is loose networking, like-minded coalitions or alliances of like-minded people who regard the target or the victim as a legitimate vector of attack. They think the target and the victim deserve what they have coming. So, flying monkeys, collaborators, allies, free riders, they all join the group, they all form a part of the crowd, a part of the mob.
It's crazy.
And this coalition attacks a highly identifiable target, indeed a targeted individual usually. Of course, gang stalking can have as its target a corporation or an institution or even an idea or a belief or an ideology or a political party or a political candidate. Anyone could become, and anything could become, the target or the victim of gang stalking. To claim that gang stalking does not exist is absolutely counterfactual, especially in the case of narcissists.
Yeah.
Narcissists engage flying monkeys, their long arm army. They engage them in smear campaigns, in gang stalking campaigns, in targeting victims and others.
Here we go. We got a professional actually talking about gang stalking. Okay. Try. So 5-point exploding heart technique. Why don't you try telling Mr. Sam Vaknin that directed energy weapons are real and being used on targets? He would probably come to the same conclusion as I did. But he would come up with it right away. He would be like, no, it's obvious it's your mind. Because it makes no sense in the outside of gang stalking. Outside of the gang stalking narrative, directed energy weapons make no sense.
Campaigns are a form, a variant, a private case of gang stalking. They involve the spread of falsehoods, defamation, and libelous claims, all of them wrong and all of them lies.
Exactly.
The spread of this misinformation and disinformation among the social group and the social network of the targeted individual, so as to inflict reputational damage on the individual and disable the individual professionally and also individually.
Yeah, I am a liar. It's okay. I'm not calling you a liar, but you are. But yeah, you're a liar. You actually are. So, look. Regardless of what you believe, just know that the truth is that there's no directed energy weapons being used on people.
Psychologically, smear campaigns create havoc and severe damage, even to physical health, but definitely to the target's ability to function, to the target's ability to obtain outcomes, interact and interface with other people, create alliances and collaborate with other people. In some cases, smear campaigns cost the
You called me a liar before, probably.
his job, his marriage, his family,
Because you lied.
his prospects, his future. Smear campaigns are a blunt instrument in this sense. They are highly destructive. And so they are founded, smear campaigns are founded on groups of people working together. They lend each other credibility. The very fact that several or multiple people are involved, spreading the same claim, the same falsehood, the same lie, lends the lie or the statements credibility. It's like if so many people are saying the same thing, it must be true.
Yeah.
There is no smoke without fire.
That's the one thing that actually happens. But when gang stalking, when too many people are passing around the same lie, there can actually be a point where the target himself starts believing it. Like if everyone around you keeps telling you that you're gross, and they behave like if you're gross, you're gonna start questioning whether or not you are gross or not. Hang on, I need to. I need. Here we go.
And so on. So gang stalking in this setting is about establishing the credibility of the false claims that are used to attack the victim or the target. We come across gang stalking in a formalized, structured way in cults. Cults
Yeah.
define an in-group versus an out-group. The out-group are the enemy. The out-group are out to get the members of the in-group. And so the cults are highly defensive. And cults engage in othering in the bad sense, othering of potential enemies.
Othering.
Cults are very hyper-vigilant and very often paranoid. So the cohesion of the cult depends crucially on the existence and the targeting of an external enemy. And because all the cult members participate in this activity, cults by definition are just another name for gang stalking.
Okay, that makes sense.
Next are the mentally ill. Mentally ill people, especially people with personality disorders and to some extent psychotic disorders.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus.
No, it's not. That's just a freaking line. I hate ads.
Tend to join forces, to gang up, because mentally ill people mutually reinforce their delusions and paranoia. The members of gangs who are founded by mentally ill people are usually mentally ill as well.
Oh,
And
That
they
makes sense.
lend each other
that makes sense.
credibility. They affirm each other's delusions and fantasies and paranoid ideation. So the very membership in the group lends the mentally ill people the delusion or the illusion that his or her mental illness is not affecting their ability to perceive reality. Mentally ill people in gangs or in groups generate a group reality testing. It's as if
Okay.
the members of the group, by virtue of colluding, by virtue of coalescing around a single target and around a single idea, for example, revenge or justice or morality, by doing this, by centering themselves around this core identity of the group, they generate an emergent type of reality testing. But this reality testing is built on misattribution and fantasy. It is the reality of the members of the mentally ill group, not the reality of healthy or normal people. And yet, it is very compelling. It is very convincing.
Yeah.
It's a narrative that easily captures outsiders, such as documentary filmmakers, or lawyers, or even law enforcement. Mentally ill people usually work when they attack a target or a victim, usually do work in groups. And to deny this is to deny reality.
So,
They tend to
who's the one sick in the head? Who's the crazy one? Targets or the gang stalkers? Gang stalkers are the ones that are crazy. They're coalescing a reality that is not true. However, there are so many that they are literally having a shared psychosis, and they try to forcefully impose their psychosis onto the target. Why do you think so many gang stalkers, so many ill people are trying to convince a single person that directed energy weapons are real? Gang stalkers are the crazy ones. However, they accuse everyone else of being crazy. Projection much?
talk and herd themselves into highly specific forums. When you go online, you can find literally forums and groups, including so-called euphemistically support groups, where mentally ill people congregate, choose a victim or a target, and then demonize that person. And then it's a short step from demonizing the person to taking action,
Yeah.
attacking the person,
It's insane.
seeking to damage the person's reputation, canceling the person, lying about the person, and so on.
And it happens all the time.
One form of gang stalking involves vindictive.
It just happened with H3 Productions. H3 Productions, the YouTuber. It happened with him. He used to have a podcast called Frenemies with Trisha Paytas. A bunch of streamers literally were actually orbiting him. It's like it was gang stalking. We covered it in a live stream too.
Revenge, holding grudges. When there is an individual who has had tumultuous or problematic relationships with multiple others, these other people have the incentive to come together in order to seek revenge.
Yeah.
And so we do have revenge gangs or revenge mobs or vindictive crowds.
I feel that revenge is part of something because like I just feel that like people can hate you for whatever reason, you know, or dislike you or simply not like you. So there are different groups that influence, manipulate, and motivate people to do and think in ways they would not normally. Yes, absolutely agree with you, Double O.
Online and offline. And they seek to target an individual that they perceive has wronged all of them in the past. So these people have a common denominator. They all claim to have been damaged or afflicted by the same individual. And then they seek revenge. The problem is that vindictiveness falsifies reality. So the reality testing is impaired on the one hand, and on the other hand,
Vindictiveness? What does that even mean? Let's see. Let's see what AI has because I don't. Yes, vindictiveness can distort or falsify reality. Okay, I have no idea what he meant by that, so we're gonna check this out. So this is it. So let's see. Here's how it happens. Manipulating perceptions. Vindictive individuals, particularly those with narcissistic tendencies, may resort to gaslighting. This involves twisting facts and manipulating situations to make the target doubt their own memory and perception of reality. Okay, that makes sense. So that's when I had a bunch of people tell me that I was gross. And I began feeling gross, and I ended up turning developing grossness of myself. Character assassination. Vindictive narcissists may spread false or exaggerated information to damage a person's reputation and make it difficult for them to maintain relationships. Absolutely. I have lost customers because of that. Creating a false self. Individuals with narcissistic disorders may create a false self-image as a defense mechanism, interacting with the world through this distorted lens rather than experiencing reality directly. Misinterpreting intentions. Vindictive behavior can stem from a tendency to believe others are intentionally threatening or acting harmfully when this is not the case. So misinterpreting of intentions is something that is incredibly common in gang stalking, because you interpret right, but they gaslight you into trying to make you believe that you are misinterpreting reality. Like, if you have a reaction to other harassment, they're going to be like, oh, you're overreacting. So they are going to tell you that you are misinterpreting things. They want you to misinterpret it as much as possible so that you do not actually have a sense of you don't know how to interpret your reality. Holding grudges. Oh, here we go. Vindictive people find it hard to let go of anger and resentment, holding on to the past offenses, which can color their perception of current interactions. So by this I mean, so like, if someone F you up once, like I accidentally or whatever, like if you're mad because someone took the last piece of pizza, and then this same person just happens to accidentally push you, or to actually slam shoulders with you, you are highly likely to interpret that as purposely done because they took the last slice of pizza. So you already have a grudge towards that person. So it kind of adds color. It sways your perception in one way or another. Which is the same thing with gang stalking. Like, gang stalking, people do things to mess you up purposefully so much that whenever someone does something that is not purposeful, you are more inclined to perceive it as if it was a purposeful act of messing you up. No. Here you go.
Vindictiveness gives rise and is highly correlated with antisocial and even criminal behaviors, such as harassment, such as stalking, such as hacking or cracking computers, and of course, such as lying to the police and other authorities. Vindictive groups will stop at nothing until they have punished the target or the victim, and their punishment is total. So they seek the victim's death or the victim's incarceration for life. They would stop, and they would stop at nothing. There are no moral constraints or behavioral inhibitions among members of vindictive groups. And of course, as you can see, this is a form of gang stalking. Next is the mobs, the tyranny of ideology,
Mobs.
the dictatorship of ideas and values and beliefs. We see it often, for example, in religious settings. So, mobs, crowds.
Why did you cancel your Midjourney subscription?
I found this hidden.
Look at the AI videos being made in the ads. Isn't that insane, guys? Like, all the ads are becoming AI. People are saving so much money on production costs.
Cancel culture is an example of gang stalking. It is when thousands and sometimes millions of individuals collude and collaborate with the aim of deleting the online presence of a specific celebrity or public intellectual. Cancel culture is gang stalking. It is not a conspiracy, but it is a loose network type of gang stalking. You remember that I proposed that there are two types of gang stalking: the structural conspiracy type and the loose network type. So this is an example of a loose network type. It's a mob. It's not a cult. It's a hive mind. It's not a rigid secret society, so to speak. So these mobs coalesce on the fly, they join together, they attack a specific individual or target, and when mission is accomplished, they disintegrate. These are ad hoc. This is a form of ad hoc gang stalking.
What the hell is ad hoc?
Bullying, including at school.
Okay, so I don't know what ad hoc is. So I like to know everything that I. That's how you grow your vocabulary. Ad hoc. Ad hoc is a word that originally comes from Latin and means for this situation. In current American English, it is used to describe something that has been formed or used for a special and immediate purpose without previous planning. Ad hoc can be used as an adjective or an adverb. One is your ordinary.
Ad hoc.
Ad hoc. Created or done for a particular purpose. Let's see. Ah!
Usually involve multiple individuals and a single target. Any observation of school bullying would. Bullying, including at school, they join together, they attack a specific individual or target, and when mission is accomplished, they disintegrate. These are ad hoc. This is a form of ad hoc gang stalking.
Yeah, as needed.
Bullying, including at school, usually involve multiple individuals and a single target.
That makes sense.
Any observation of school.
So school bullying is pretty much gang stalking. You see, gang stalking participants, it's like they're children that just never became adults.
Bullying would immediately reveal a structure which is highly reminiscent of gang stalking.
Yeah.
These are gangs. Bullies work very often in gangs, and they attack highly identifiable, targeted individuals.
Huh.
But bullying can take place in multiple situations and settings, for example, in the workplace. And so whenever bullying takes place, the bully compromises others. The bully co-opts other people. The bully forms ad hoc networks
Yeah.
around the act of bullying. People join the bully because they equally hate the targeted individual.
Oh
Or
my
people join the
God.
bully because they don't want to be bullied. And as allies of the bully, they purchase immunity. They're safe. People join the bully because they enjoy the fun and entertainment. They're a bit sadistic. People join the bully.
It's the sadism in it. It's the whole act of being sadistic. It's like I have never seen people be so ecstatic when harassing an individual. It's insane.
Because the bully guarantees long-term favorable outcomes by getting rid of some
Yeah.
obstacle or some problem. People join bullies for a variety of reasons, but it is extremely rare for a bully to act alone. Bullies fit into a corporate culture. They are usually encouraged implicitly. They're egged on in some way. Someone is turning a blind eye.
Yeah.
Bullying is a form of conspiracy or collusion.
Someone is turning a blind eye.
And because it involves, invariably, multiple individuals, then bullying is a prime example of gang stalking.
Yep. It's like
But we can
bullying.
find gang-
It's literally bullying, dude. But it's a little bit more. I feel that gang stalking bullying is a little bit more sophisticated because it is premeditated to have a particular goal, which is to drive the targeted individual crazy. Gang stalking is bullying. It's bullying at a huge scale.
that is highly institutionalized, socially acceptable, and even commendable. For example, religious excommunication. When you run afoul of some religious edicts within your parish, within your religious community or church or synagogue or mosque or whatever it is, you are excommunicated. Some excommunication is ritualized and formal. Some excommunication is unspoken. It's a kind of silent treatment. But excommunication is like a virus. It spreads across the entire community.
Yeah.
There's no excommunication without a community
To
to be
excommunicate.
excluded from.
Yeah.
So religious excommunication is an exercise at gang stalking. The religious group acts as a gang, as a mob, as a cult. And when
Yeah, they
it
totally compare.
excludes one of its members
It is a cult.
because of blasphemy, because of adultery, because of I don't know what, whatever the reason may be,
It's like the witch hunts. It's gang stalking is like the witch hunts. We are a modern version of Elvira. We literally are. It's literally like what happens to Elvira. She's just doing her thing. You know, she's a highly identifiable individual, and they want to kill her, and they try to sabotage everything that she does.
when it excludes one of the members, it is gang stalking. Similarly, social ostracism. I mentioned cancel culture,
Yeah.
but there are many forms of social ostracism. Until the 1950s, for example, people avoided and shunned divorced women. Divorced women were considered outcasts, pariahs. No one would talk to them. No one would communicate with them. No one would transact with them. And to date a divorced woman was a serious problem, a serious diminution in one's reputation. It had a reputational cost. So this is an example of social ostracism. But social ostracism must involve more than one individual. It must involve society itself,
Yeah.
highly specific neighborhoods and communities. And so social ostracism, by its definition, ex definitio, is gang stalking.
Yeah.
And finally, of course, there is legal and institutional gang stalking. I'm not a fan of President-elect Donald Trump, and that is the understatement of the century. But what has been done to him within the legal system is extremely reminiscent of gang stalking.
Let's see.
Business owners and salespeople, if you
This
want to
is
experience
super,
massive
super
confidence,
interesting.
Groups of people identified with a specific political party leveraged the justice system to persecute and prosecute a single targeted individual.
Yeah.
In this case, Donald Trump. Many of the accusations were very weak and concocted.
Yeah.
Some accusations stuck. That's not the point. The point is the sudden orchestration
Yeah.
of dozens of lawsuits and criminal processes. This suddenness, this abruptness is highly indicative of coordination.
Yeah, out of the blue. Out of the blue, remember that? Do you guys remember when everyone was, what's he was saying? Grab him by the P-U-S-S-Y, P-U-S-S-Y. When everyone was talking about that, it was everywhere. Like, it was everywhere. It was like someone, like, everyone was blaring a radio with his voice. That time was so insane.
Someone must have coordinated the legal campaign against Donald
It was
Trump.
Hillary.
Should this be the case, we are talking about gang stalking. Legal, institutional, but still
It is gang stalking still.
stalking. There is a gang, there's a group, there's a crowd, there's a mob, and they put their minds together on how to eliminate an individual.
Yeah. And he
targeted
still won.
Individual. For the academic world of psychology, to deny the existence of gang stalking diminishes the credibility of our profession. Because if we insist that gang stalking is invariably delusional, we fly in the face of the experiences of thousands of people who are mentally healthy and not delusional.
Like my example, coordinated repetition to make someone believe something. Yeah, exactly.
At all, and not paranoid at all. Gang stalking does exist in multiple settings, on multiple occasions,
Yeah.
with multiple people. And again, we should study this phenomenon. And we should afford the victims and the targeted individuals with instruments, including psychological instruments, to cope with this onslaught, to survive, and afterwards to heal and to thrive. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a very good, productive, and enlightening conference.
Woo! Thank you, Mr. Sam Vaknin. So one thing. Hang on. So here we go. That is the thing about Sam Vaknin, is that he's got a point. He's got a total point about that.
If you're a man who makes at least 150 grand a year and you're still embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool, I will get you chiseled like a Greek god faster
What
than
is
you
this?
can imagine, or you won't pay a dime. This is very specifically for men over 30 who make it the bare minimum.
Why are we having
150
an
grand a year.
ad?
I'm John Matson, founder.
I hate the ad is interrupting my music. Oh my god, YouTube, stop feeding me ads. You're being
What
insane.
happens when your family,
So,
which are supposed to be the sanctuary, the refuge,
so what do you guys think? Look, gang stalking doesn't have to be about directed energy weapons. Gang stalking can simply be, about harassing people. And it is the directed energy weapon narrative that makes people go insane. For real though, ads trying, yeah, I know, they really are. So, one thing that is super important for you guys to understand is that it's important for victims of gang stalking to keep their feet in reality, to understand that the use of directed energy weapons is something that is done to targets to make them unable to talk about gang stalking. Because if you're a targeted individual and you are talking about directed energy weapons and about how you are being harassed by the government, you are gonna lose our credibility, just like Myron May lost his credibility. Myron May literally made videos talking about directed energy weapons, and guess what? People knew that there was something wrong that happened because he was a nice guy, and his videos were released because he was talking about his belief in directed energy weapons, which literally led to the immediate destruction of all his credibility. Of all the credibility that he had was utterly destroyed because of his videos of directed energy weapons. If you are a targeted individual, you have to understand that the directed energy weapon narrative in gang stalking is going to destroy your testimony. The only people that are pushing the narrative of directed energy weapons, the only one who's benefiting, is not you. It is the gang stalkers. Because the moment that you say to the world, oh my god, I'm being harassed, I'm being followed, I'm doing this, the moment that happens, you are immediately making yourself appear like a paranoid, delusional individual. And you are automatically being thought of as a crazy person. So you have to understand that it's incredibly important for you to know that directed energy weapons, even though they might exist, they are not being casually used on people. Like, understand that even like the voice of God and the V2K, like these have hardly ever been seen by actual military individuals. And yet we have hundreds of people that are creating false testimonies claiming, oh my god, I'm being harassed. They use their energy weapons. They use the AI to tell the satellites that you're going to be walking this way, and they tell that what you're thinking. But it's a bunch of BS, guys. It's really, really a bunch of BS. So you guys have to be incredibly careful with that. So look, let's look at another content. Let's look at a little bit more content. let's see what Twitter X is doing. So let's see. Let's see what do we have here. I feel like hasn't this image done like around like 1,000 times? Oh, so one of you guys send me a video to check out actually. Hang on. So someone told me to react to this. And I didn't. Because we were doing a video. I don't know what that is. Let's see. So this. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna check it out. Look at the bar. That's pretty. Is that a video game? That's like an actual place? That looks like so much fun. What is this? It looks like an all-encompassing experience. How pretty! That's super pretty. I love the casting. Look at all the production. Wow. Yeah. I feel like I'm not sure what this is. Like a viewer was recommended this video. He recommended to check out the video. It's a hotel too? Wow, it's gorgeous. I feel like it's like a resort with like shows. Wow, that's pretty. That's insane. It's like Disneyland. Beautiful. How would you even like... That's cool. What is that?
Cet étrange château
So
enveloppé
it's
par
like
le
in
Nil,
France.
né de choix très
That's so
anciens
cool.
devenus
Reminds you of the medieval time dinner show. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's so sick. That is so milkers. Guys, that is so milkers. And let's see. I feel like I just want to like almost like chill like to something. You know what I mean? So what was I gonna show you? I don't know. I feel like we should just like check out the internet to see what's up. What is this? Neurocrimes. Ugh, I feel like... let's see what the medieval times. Yeah. Okay, I feel like we already did like our hard work of gang stalking videos. Is there anything else you guys want to watch? Let's see, what is on my For You page? Do you guys want to see my algorithm? Let's see. So my algorithm says the following. So Ludwig, I don't know. Oh, I like Tectone a lot actually. It's funny. All your ladies pop my milkshakes like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't miss. All you better me. Meek. I think that we're done. Are we done for the day? So today it's already 9:30. Okay, let's check about a little bit about Amberlyn Reed. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about Amberlyn Reed. So I'm not sure if you guys know who this chick is, but she literally is simply a chick who's been losing weight on YouTube for like 1,000 years, and like there is a lot of how do you say? There is a bunch of channels making content about her because she's been losing weight for 10 years. And she hasn't. So was researching Deuce just now. So Deuce, you know, to be honest, most of that is just a waste of time. Like you can do whatever you want, but all the information is just an endless rabbit hole that is gonna take you in deeper into a hole with no solution. It's only meant to keep you entertained, so that you keep thinking about gang stalking. So you literally keep yourself indoctrinated when you are actually, you keep yourself indoctrinated by looking out more things about gang stalking and directed energy weapons. Like there is no logic in all of those words. It literally just engulfs your thinking. It's so unhealthy to look up that stuff up. It really is. So let's see. What does Hecticana have to say about Amberlyn? Also, Amberlyn has been losing weight for like 1,000 years, and she's been the same. I am attracted to this content because I have been a fitness professional for like 10 years. And literally, she just like stays the same. Like for the past 10 years. Imagine trying to lose weight and not getting anywhere for 10 years, dude. But yeah, like the direct, it's honestly, it's TikTok is less brain rotting than directed energy weapon stories. Like for real, like stuff about directed energy weapons is trash. You don't wanna keep your mind. You don't wanna fill your mind with that stuff. You really don't. Do you ever get gang stalked by young adult couples? I mean, what do you mean by young adult couples? Like I've gotten gang stalked online, in person. They're typically either really young or like in their early or like in their late 30s. Not by couples. Oh my god, I have gotten harassed by a couple. Like that was my age though. I'm 38. So I'm like an adult. I'm not a young person anymore. But I have been harassed. I have been like harassed by, especially in stores, almost like floor walkers. If I have been harassed in stores, I have been harassed at stores, yeah. Like so gang stalkers do this thing where like you're walking around. So imagine that you're here, right? And then like all of a sudden like you just see and like someone runs like this behind you. Like, but to scare you, or they just start, or you're facing the other way and they just go like this, like behind you, and then when you turn around, they're like, "What are you looking at?" I'm not kidding. Like this actually happened to me, and then you turn around back, and they're like, and then you look back, and they look all tired, but they're just like, "What? What are you looking at?" And they just keep talking trash, but they're doing weird things behind you. Like I've experienced that. I've experienced people running like around the stores, like in between the aisles. Like at least like 3 people at once, at different times to create paranoia in me. Like I've experienced that too. But yeah, I have experienced that. It's really crazy. Whenever you are getting targeted, the one thing that you have to understand is to never run away. Never run away, and always behave like that thing is happening. Watch your belongings. Oh my god, look, Amberlynn Reed is being attacked with directed energy weapons. Look at her.
Hello, my friends. Amber posted that she's missing her live stream, the one that people are paying for, and then skipping a video, or I guess she's shifting her videos back a couple days. But in that post, she had to mention that she got bad news, you know?
I noticed a number of TIs have similar ages and body styles and look young, like born in the late 80s. Huh, good shape and look young. We are similar in number. Yeah. One thing that I have realized is that gang stalkers, for the most part, are just haters. I just remembered hearing about Deuce, but only laser heat weapons, not mentally manipulation weapons. So, you want to take a look into that? Let's see. So, someone sent me something on my email. Hang on. Let me show you. What's the name of this doctor? Hang on. No. The spiritual. No, I remember. No. Preston Bailey. Here, so watch. So here, eh, do you think maybe this is an afterlife and maybe we should say dimension afterlife? No. No, we're here. So look. So let me show. So Preston Bailey. Notice that. So look. Let me show you how much of a push directed energy weapons are being pushed on people. So notice that this is Preston T. Bailey, right? And look, and this person supposedly wrote this. Bailey, actually, let me just show you his website. So he actually wrote, there was news story a long time ago that allegedly Russians shot it at a US embassy and lots of people got cancer randomly. You know, even though lots of people got cancer randomly, a lot of people always get cancer randomly. Just understand that. Like, how do you get this information? We can look into it. Actually, that would be fun. So look, Preston Bailey, supposedly, look, this is who this guy is. So, Dr. Bailey has graduated from the largest seminary in the world, Southern Baptist Seminary, with a Master's of Divinity, Luther Rice Seminary with a Doctor of Ministry, and Biblical Life College Seminary. Like, this guy is like all about religion, right? As you can see it right here. He was a producer and host of The Christian Counselor, Improving Your Family Life, which has a weekly television program on the Axe Network. He has been on numerous television shows and spoken about the occult, satanic, and ritual abuse, and prayer in Europe, Canada, and throughout the United States. So he is like a hard Christian, right? Do you really think that a Christian would write No, it's not this one. No. Would write a book about psychotronic weapons? Not at that, but about laser days or like a Christian. You really think like that? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like someone actually went out of their way and put him specifically to talk about electromagnetic weapons. Like, notice that this pretty much is claiming that this is an electromagnetic weapon, right? But look, when you look at this picture, and we search that, not weapons, hang on. And we search that picture. What happened? And let's set the picture. Look. No, I don't want you to send me there. How do you screenshot the web page? Like up, I forgot. Hang on. Shift Command 3. Watch. Where is it? Here you go. So look. So we're gonna edit this and watch. We're gonna do a Google search for this image. And look, let me show you. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna check out what the news about our friend 007. Is it a PNG? And let's look it up by Google Images. So notice that here this is supposed to be like an electromagnetic weapon, right? Like these are all supposed to be electromagnetic weapons. Here, this satellite is supposed to be an electromagnetic weapon. And then when we go on Google and we search for the file that I just showed you, look. What is this? So, mind control weapon. It is a radar in World War II. But it still says that it's a mind control weapon. It's like, why do people keep saying it's literally a radar? Israel, look, so this information has always been out there. Israel has mental control technology in the big masses. It's a secret to voices in the internet, in the intelligence circles, with a group of Israeli specialist neuroscientists. This one is even worse. What is this? Technocracy. Okay, so no. So Wikimedia. Notice that this is the same one. And it's literally a laser. A radar. Here we go. It's a freaking radar, dude. Why is it in another language? Oh, here we go. Let's do this. So look, it's a Wurzburg. It's a freaking satellite. I mean, it's a radar. And here's all the specs. We can actually see the specs of the radar. I don't know what any of this means, but it's a radar. Yeah, but notice that like here it's all like, oh my god, the directed energy weapons. Oh my god, like people are trying to convince you of all of this stuff. Like cybernetic mind control in the CIA. All of this is meant to confuse. This is science fiction. And again, patents, it converts sound to electrical impulses. Sometimes called the voice. Like, all of this is a bunch of BS that is meant to keep you crazy. Like, when I start reading this stuff, I begin to get sleepy. Is that weird? I literally get sleepy. Like my mind is like, don't look at that. So let's see what you said. Let's just check it out. So a Russian shot at U.S. embassy. Let's see. Let me make sure that it has the word cancer. The Moscow signal. Was reported a microwave transmission varying between 2.5 and 4 gigahertz directed at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow from 1953 to 1976, resulting in an internal incident. There were no significant health effects on embassy staff, although this conclusion has been disputed. The Moscow signal, Moscow. How do you pronounce that?
Moscow.
The Moscow signal was used by United States intelligence officials to describe the low power signals recorded in the embassy. The microwave transmissions caused an iridescence in the embassy of only 5 which is 1,000 the maximum permissible leakage from a microwave oven and far below what would be needed to heat anything. Okay? So it was a little bit. However, these signals were 100 times more powerful than the Soviet Union's maximum exposure standards, which caused concern about US officials. The microwave beam came from a source in an apartment building about 100 meters east of the 10th floor embassy. The beams targeted... Is this what you're talking about? This is interesting though. The beams targeted the east side of the building, with highest intensities between a 3rd and 8th floors. During background radiation testing in 1953, the microwaves were detected and sourced to suspected Soviet forces. 11 years later, shielding against the microwaves was eventually put into place. 11 years later, during regular monitoring of... But look at how long the Moscow signal was... It happened from 1953 to 1976. For almost 20 years. For 20 years, and no one did anything about it at an embassy. Why would anyone spend 20 years attacking a single person? That makes no sense. And nothing happened. Like, for real. Even if people got cancer, look at all the time it took. And it was an embassy. Let's see. Look, however, the signals were 100 times more powerful than the Soviet Union's maximum exposure standards and far below what would be needed to heat anything. So, if the Soviet Union, the embassy, was attacked with radiation, they wouldn't feel a thing. Because it was far below what would be needed to heat anything. So all the people saying, oh my god, the directed energy weapons leave scars. Oh my god, that's a lie. During routine background radiation testing in 1953, the microwaves were detected and sourced to suspected Soviet forces. 11 years later, shielding against the microwave was eventually put into place. 11 years later, during regular monitoring of the signal, the beams were found to have increased in intensity in 1975. The discovery of these microwaves was not acknowledged to the public or to many embassy personnel until February 1976. Wow. Theories as to the signal's purpose include electronic jamming, a popular although unproven idea that technology was used to interfere with health. A popular although unproven idea. It's still unproven to this day that the technology was used to interfere with health, minds, or behavior of the American embassy staff. Wouldn't you agree that if this would have caused a severe effect, wouldn't you agree that we would have already been doing constant research onto it? Health studies. This is so interesting. Like, if this was a thing, if the impact was actually severe, we would have already figured out why, who, what, when, where, and everything about it. We already know everything about it. I mean, we can fly people to the moon. What do you think that we would already know about this stuff? If freaking we use microwaves every day in our houses. What do you think that all kinds of crazy experiments would have already been taken care of? Additionally, PlayStation 5s were like banned in some countries because you could create a supercomputer with a PS5. Do you guys remember that? Wouldn't you agree that if a super directed energy weapon was capable of being built with microwaves, wouldn't you think that microwaves would not be legal? It makes no sense. The government has so many already defenses. So now, United States human testing. In minutes from May 12, 1969, meaning the DARPA Pandora Scientific Committee. The scientific committee discussed plans to move forward with 8 human subjects. Okay, the subjects would be exposed to the Moscow signal and then given a full battery of medical psychological tests. The committee did recommend granado protection be provided. I don't know what that means, to make to male taste subjects. However, like to their nuts, yeah. They protected their nuts from freaking radiation, guys. And then it said, gonado. How do you pronounce that? Ugh. Where is it? Gonado. Whatever. Anyways, okay, so let's keep moving. Blah, blah, blah. To be provided to the male subjects. However, human testing was not pursued. Oh, wow, they didn't even do the testing. The program was shut down in 1969 with an effect of the signal behavior. Of the signal on behavior and or biological functions deemed too subtle or insignificant to deem evident. Are you guys seeing this? Human testing was not pursued. The program was shut down in 1969 with an effect of the signal or on behavior and or biological functions deemed too subtle or insignificant to be evident. So it was even canceled because they just were not getting any type of results. The changes were so insignificant they were not even worth going through with. Moscow embassy study. Now let's see the next one. And the next one says, In 1976, after the microwave irradiation was found to have increased, the U.S. Department of State commissioned a study led by Abraham Linfield, assisted by the Department of Epidemiology at Johns Hopkins University. The goal of the study was to compare the Moscow embassy staff and their families with the staff and families associated with other Eastern European U.S. embassies who would have shared many similarities to their daily life. The exposed group were staff who had worked at the Moscow embassy in January 1st, 1953 to June 30th of 1976, and their families in Moscow. And the comparison group was individuals in other selected Eastern European embassies during the identical time frame, and their families, while the study was unpublished. Its 1978 report concluded that there were no adverse health effects. It's literally right here. Its 1978 report concluded that there were no adverse health effects. Okay? Radiation on the Havana, whatever, the Moscow signal, there were no side effects. There were no adverse effects. Let's see. Oh, but here's what you were saying. You were saying a Spanish study in 2019 based on the 1978 study with declassified information and new statistical analysis found that Moscow embassy employees in 1976 had a higher cancer mortality rate than general population and a worse health status than Europe's embassy employees overall. So there was an actual health impact. However, notice that it took so many years for it to be even noticed. You know what I mean? Suspected health impacts. Ambassador Walter Stoessel fell ill in 1975 with symptoms including bleeding from the eyes. Oh my God. And then leukemia. In 1975, phone call, U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger linked Stosser's illness to the microwave stated, "We are trying to keep the thing quiet." Oh my God, and it's quoted. Quoted from where? 7. Havana Syndrome and the Mystery of the Microwaves. BBC News. Like, I mean, I'm sure they have an adverse effect, but like, notice that it took like 20 years, and the only reason they found out was because they measured, because it was an embassy. Multiple ambassadors and embassy died of cancer. You're right. People died of cancer. But there has never been any scientifically plausible link demonstrated between non-ionizing radiation and elevated cancer risk. This is so interesting. So actually, this is really cool stuff that we can check out later. So so Double O says the DRDOs do seem more real. What is that? Not Dodo. Laser weapon. Yeah, so Double O says maybe the technology wasn't advanced, but just sounds like radiation and microwaves trying a thing. Yeah, I mean, of course, if microwaves are going to be pushed onto a person, if there are going to be microwaves imposed into someone, of course they're going to have some type of effect, but like, when I was targeted, I was literally feeling burning sensations. Like if there's no such thing to be used on freaking embassy employees, you know what I mean? It's like, why am I gonna be entitled to energy woman when I'm a nobody and I don't work for the government? You know what I mean? It makes no sense to be done on like a person, you know. So, do you notice similarities in gang stalkers' faces? Like they are the same kind, although no. Like sometimes an Indian, white, and black gang stalkers have similar facial structures. I know what you mean. You know, to be honest, I encountered from really beautiful to really ugly people participating in gang stalkers. The ones that seemed to get most joy out of gang stalking were the really ugly people. That's one thing though. Like the ugly people seem to enjoy it the most. And one thing that I noticed that the people that were really hot participated in it for a little bit and they left me alone. The really hot people that participated just participated in it like once. And then they like just stopped participating in it. They left me alone. But the ugly people actually kept at it. Which I found really interesting. Like ugly people were the worst. And look, I don't think that there's like, I have nothing against people that are ugly. Actually, I have an attractiveness to ugly people, which is weird, but I just do. But it's weird that it's weird because like the people that I got the worst gang stalking from is gang stalking is people that you wouldn't think they're happy with themselves. You know what I mean? Like I am simply personally never like, this is gonna be weird, but like people that were unhappy with themselves, that had too much time on their hands, that weren't struggling to do anything with their lives, were the ones that were more like heavily gang stalked me. Even though I even found someone who was really successful and had like a lot of businesses was also gang stalking me. But the difference is that most of the people that are doing something, they don't have time to gang stalk you. They're typically doing their thing. So I have seen gang stalkers of all shapes on all sizes. Just know that. All shapes, all sizes, all spectrums of money, and like old, young, children, young adults. There's no difference. The only difference is the behavior. That's it. Do you think some stalkers are intent on helping you? I feel no. No, not at all. None of them. Because anyone that would actually try to help would have told me, hey, you know what? You need to stop doing this, and this, and that. And all of this is going to go away. That's all that they needed to say. And no one said anything. I was simply harassed for 7 years. A single person told me one time, hey, people are going to be doing weird things around you, so be careful. And I wish the person would have been like, you know what? You need to stop trying to meet new people. You need to stop doing this and this other stuff. And you're going to be fine. But you really need to stop this. Like, things are going to go really bad for you if you don't stop. That's all I needed to hear. If a single person would have told me that. and would have told me, you know what, if you change this, like if you stop using substances, you know, like if someone was trying to help me, they would have told me, stop using substances, stop doing this, stop doing that. And you're going to be okay. But the intention of gang stalking is to destroy. It's too evident that it was to destroy me. Because anyone that would have wanted to help me would have told me at least a sentence. And would have told me, don't tell anyone that I told you. But just do this or stop doing this and you're going to be fine. But people just simply, no one ever told me anything about it. Have you considered maybe they are sworn to secrecy, but they know something you don't? I don't understand. They did know something that I didn't know, which was that the fact that gang stalking is supposed to make you schizophrenic. But I found all of that on my own. You know, by pulling myself back to my schizophrenic delusions that were created by gang stalking. That's it. And the thing is that people are still fighting me on this. Notice that I'm being called delusional for saying that people are not harassed with directed energy weapons. It's like, what? It's so surreal. Okay, guys, so we are done with today's stream, guys. I'm going to sleep. Just curious, has the state government ever actually officially punished you for anything? And no, nothing. That's a good question though. But I have never been in prison. Nothing. No problem with the law. Some are very jealous about psychic awareness and creativity. You know, thanks for your time. Have a great night. Thank you. You know, I honestly think that it is pretty much a creativity. It is a creativity because I have seen it on their eyes when I find a solution that they never saw that happened, you know. I have shown people my creativity and I have been faced only with expressions of envy, which is insane. It's really insane. But yeah, so guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. My name is Stefan Rodriguez and I was a target of gang stalking for 7 years. The goal of the channel is to explain the truth about gang stalking, dispel the myths, and help targets restore their perceptions back to normalcy. There is a group of people that has fun making people insane. And the goal of the channel is to explain the truth about gang stalking to everyone. The best way to stay out of gang stalking is to work on yourself relentlessly and be so busy working on yourself that you are not available to most of these people. Additionally, don't use any illicit substances. Don't hang out with losers. Don't hang out with people that use substances. And don't hang out with people that push the gang stalking narrative of directed energy weapons. Don't engage with people that make your life worse. Anyone that is trying to steer you away from reaching your best self is a parasite. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Have you ever involved yourself with the Masons, including the torturing buildings or attending? No, nothing. None of that. Zero. Thank you for asking, though. So gang stalking has nothing to do with that. It's literally just a bunch of haters, like for real. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It has been amazing. And thank you for the questions. It's fun. Probably on the next one, we're going to check a little bit more about laser weapons, you know, just for fun. But let me tell you, I stick to the truth. I stick to the same narrative that there is no directed energy weapons being used on gang stalking. So 5.5 exploding heart technique. If you still feel that you are being harassed with directed energy weapons, just understand that you were brainwashed into believing so. And I don't know who you are, I don't know what you've gone through, but gang stalking is actively trying to push the gang stalking narrative of directed energy weapons onto targets because it takes your power away from you. Okay? Good night. They look for people to sacrifice these days. Twin flame obsessed. Oh, I don't know about the twin flames. we could probably look into that. I think a lot of that would be interesting because that would come out more on like to your arena because your screen name is the iconic intuitive. So I'm assuming you're into that type of I'm not sure what to call it, of arena. They do it for content and work because someone tries to put you on a blacklist. They do it for content and work. Okay. So we're gonna check out on that. So subscribe, guys, and then we're gonna check this out another time. Thank you. Good night down below. Thank you for stopping by. By the way, guys, we are doing milkers tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we're working on milkers. Okay.